All right, now watch this. And then the secondary part of that was this. The question was asked, do you need revival in your spirit? Or do your spirit need revival? See, what God was basically letting me know is this. See, in 2011, this is what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened. A lot of his people's spirit did this. Now, it was up high. See I'm standing? It's up high, right? This is what a lot of his people's spirit did in 2011. Watch this now. Watch what I do. This is their spirit walking. And stay like that. What God was saying is, I want them to be able to rise up again in their spirit. And they need a spiritual awakening through a revival in their spirit. Because before you can embrace your new season, your spirit got to wake up. You need to be shaken again. You need to wake up again. You need to be alive again. Your eyes need to open again. Because your eyes were getting dim. Your spirit was becoming dead. Even though you're saved and even though you're anointed, you was becoming this dead walking person. Wasn't talking as powerful, wasn't really caring too much about praying, wasn't caring too much about the word, wasn't caring too much about fasting. Because what was happening, your spirit was going low. Because the trials and tribulations was weighing you down. Amen. There's so much saints that's ready to give up on God. They'll say, forget this, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. There's no way this can be God. The things I'm going through, there's no way this can be God. And their spirit got low. And many held on, but many didn't. There's many that turned. You see, you heard the song so backslid? What do you think? Their spirit got low. One of the last stages before someone slide is when their spirit get low. You just don't backslide just to backslide. There's stages before you backslide. Person just don't be powerful up here and just go back to the world. Before you backslide, there's stages. Watch this. Resurrection and renewal. First, to embrace something, that means you have to accept an opportunity or challenge. To accept an opportunity or challenge. Willingly or eagerly. Willingly or eagerly. The second definition we have is the act of rising from the dead. The act of rising from the dead. Or returning to life. The act of rising from the dead or returning to life. And then it also means revival. It also means revival. Okay, it says the act of bringing back to practice, notice, or use. I'm sorry. The act of bringing back to practice, notice, or use. The third word is renew. It means to become new again. Renew means to become new again. And then the second part of that definition of the word renew is to start over. To start over. And then the fourth word is the word agenda. A list or program of things to be done or considered. A list or program of things to be done or considered. A list or program of things to be done or considered. We looked at the definition of the word embrace, which was to accept an opportunity or challenge willingly or eagerly. Resurrection, the act of rising from the dead or returning to life. And then it said it also meant revival. Okay? And we said renew was to become new again. And it also means to start over. All right. Now, when we look at this, what we have to understand and what God wants to say to us is this. See, in other words, He's telling us, some of us, as His people in the kingdom, have to go back in the sense of this. And look at where our spirit is, and then see what hindered us from being in our present proper place with Him to fully be able to embrace the new season. So now, if that's the case, a new year does not mean a new season for some. But even also in the spiritual realm of this new season, it also means some are not in the proper place to receive the new season. Because it's a spiritual thing. Okay? It's not just what we say out of our mouth. It's what's really in my spirit. It determines whether I can embrace my new season. So being that that's the case, watch this. That means this. When God says, through resurrection and renewal, there's some things that we don't have to resurrect. And we're going to deal with these things we have to resurrect, and some things we have to renew. See? There's some things we have to renew. And we'll turn into the Word, and then we're going to go through it. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 4. And we're going to start at verse number 21. Verse number 21. Ephesians 4, verse 21. And we're going to start at 21. It says, and it is so be that ye have heard Him and have been taught by Him, as the truth is in Jesus, that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that you put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness. I dealt with this verse last week, and I'm not going to really deal with it in true depth this week, but I'm going to just touch on it briefly. The concept of what I want us to concentrate on is the fact that us being the new man. The fact of us being the new man. Now, we understand, it says in 23, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Watch this now. In the spirit of your mind. You have to understand what is connected to the concept of the spirit of your mind. Now, when I give this illustration, you have to really catch what I'm saying to you. The spirit of your mind has really to do with your soul. Watch this. Because you have to understand how this works. The spirit of your mind relates to your soul. Because, remember, the soul is a what? Mind and intellect, will and what? Emotions. So if it is mind, intellect, will, and emotions, the spirit of your mind relates to the soul, because you cannot be renewed unless you are renewed in your emotions and your will. So if your will is not renewed to obey, then your mind cannot really be renewed. Because the mind deals with the will as much as the will deals with the mind. I can have a thought to do right, but if my will don't want to will to do it, my thought would not go nowhere, because it would just be a thought of wanting to do right, but the will will not allow me to do right. You get it? So now, this is how the mind relates to the will, according to the soul. The spirit of your mind relates to your soul. So whenever there's a renewal taking place, your emotions have to be renewed. And this is why many are not becoming new. Because their emotions is not renewed. Whenever hurt, pain, unforgiveness, anger, and things, and malice, and those things are not renewed based on being removed from us, it hinders the mind, because remember, the emotion talks unto us, which is a part of the soul. Watch this now. So now, if we deal with emotions, will, intellect, and mind, which is the three components that makes up the soul, the spirit of the mind, which relates to the soul, is connected to the point where the way for you to be renewed is when your emotions and your will is renewed, so that your mind can come to a place of renewal to accept what the will is saying. Because the will is saying, I want to do right. But the mind is saying, I don't want to do right. So this is the thing. I understand it says renewed in your mind, and we're going to look at it and say, the renewal of the mind in reference to the word, be transformed by the renew your mind. Do you understand that truth? Now I'm getting ready to go out here and on a limb, okay? But listen, this is my interpretation. This is what the Lord has given me. Y'all can persecute me for it. I believe. You never heard me say anyone else. I said I believe that the true transformation of the mind cannot really be done unless the emotion is done. That's just my interpretation. Because watch this now. Watch this. See, do you know that your emotions can block your time of meditation in the Word?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes,
what do you think that is? What do you think that is when you're worried about bills? That's an emotion, worry, and you can't study. That's an emotion. See, that's an emotion when you're that's an emotion when you're frustrated and you can't even pray.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, Lord. Yes. Yes.
That's an emotion.
Yes.
And see, we've not tapped into this realm right. And so what is happening, we're trying to act like emotions don't exist, and it's stopping us from even functioning in the realm of the spirit with God. You know you can't read that Bible because you're frustrated. And you're worried about no bills. And so you can't even function. And then you say it's the devil. It's not the devil, it's your emotions. You need to get free from your own emotions. Your emotions got you bound from reading this word, and then you call it the devil and say the devil put me to sleep. So now watch this. Your mind is worried about that relationship where you can't function. And well, I don't care if it's fiance, the fiance, husband or wife, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Worried about what she doing.
Yeah.
Worried about what he doing. Can't function, can't even read the word. Constantly looking at the phone to see when she gonna call or see when he gonna call. No, you can't look at no word, you can't read no word because you're looking at the phone to see if the text come through. And see if you got a missed call. Hey, yo.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So the spirit of your mind relates to the soul. Now you might say, I had to go through all this for a reason. Because what you got to understand is this. We're saying about the renewal of the mind, but we don't understand what it takes to get this mind renewed. And this is why you can read the word. Watch this. This is why you can read the word and still think the same. Have a ton of word in you. You can read till you're blue in the face and still think the same way. You know why? Because the renewal was not done with your emotions. And the renewal was not done with your will. Because your will and your emotions got to be renewed so that your mind can get renewed. Because my will said I don't want to, watch this. My will says I don't want to forgive you, which is an emotion. Which my mind said I need to. My will and my emotions say I don't want to. So I read, watch this now. I read the word, which is supposed to be renewing this mind and tell me about forgiving and about loving my brothers and sisters. And my mind have actually read it and have rehearsed it and actually can now repeat it from my mouth. But my emotions and will have not let go of it. So this can't change about the circumstance until my will and my emotions do. So everybody talking renewal. See, everybody want to see that. Do we understand what it means to be in this new season? That means you will really have a new mind for real. A new mind for real. You're really going to actually look at your enemies with compassion for real in your mind and in your heart. Because your will and your emotions was renewed about them.
Yeah, amen.
Because if you're still carrying things in your heart and in your emotions from 2005 and 6 and 7, you are not renewed. Let me repeat this. If you still carrying stuff in your emotions, in your spirit, and people in 2005 and 6 and 7, you're not renewed. Let me say it again. You're not renewed. Let me move on. Let me move on. Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Now watch this. Resurrection.